But look, you guys get the gist of it. I think that was a perfect showcase of how effective this build can work. There are a lot of situations in which the Skull of Dire on Kara is going to be ineffective because there's just not a high enough concentration of enemies for you to get back the amount of super energy that you need. The Gofanon Forge is a perfect example. It's just not a high enough concentration of enemies on it. The Barbuzia Forge.
This video is based on a joke presentation I gave last year. I was recently on the phone with an internet service provider whose name shall remain unspoken because they promised me their mediocre internet services for one price and then charged me another price. And you may not be surprised to hear that price B was greater than price A. So I was on the phone to see if I could get B to equal A. Which reminds me of the first of the axioms, or laws, of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory. For those of you who don't know, Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory is the, how shall I put it, pedantry that forms the foundation of modern mathematics. And to get a good idea, you only really need to know two things about it. It exists. That's a math joke, though I guess this whole video is. And using the Zermelo-Fraenkel axioms, the number 2 is written like this, which in English reads the set that contains the set that contains only the set containing nothing, as well as the set containing nothing. Yeah. Okay, so the first axiom, or law, of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory says that two sets are equal if they have the same elements. However, the internet company that shall not be named was providing the same set of services for different prices. So B doesn't equal A, but they both contain the same set of services. This is a violation of the first axiom of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory. At this point, perhaps I should have been worried, but I continued nevertheless. I again asked for price A, and they replied, "The option we offered is all that we can offer." I was horrified, for you see, the second axiom of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory implies that a set can't be a member of itself, and yet they had just said that the set of all options they could offer was the same as the option they offered, which clearly must be contained in the set of all options they could offer, and thus they violated the second axiom upon which modern mathematics is built. "Let me speak to your manager," I said, which is code for, "I think your axiomatic system is crap." But as expected, the manager did not immediately improve the situation. Just so we're all on the same page, I simply wanted internet for the promised price A, let's say $40, but had been charged B, say $50, for the same service. And I had been told that $50 is the best offer I can make. The manager promptly offered me internet plus a home Wi-Fi router for $45. You might think this is an improvement, as I did until I asked if I could have the offer of internet plus router, but hold the router. And I was told, no, The third axiom of Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory was not happy with that, because you're supposed to be able to make a subset out of elements of a set, and have that also be a set, but apparently not in the world of internet service providers. This also violates axiom 6, by the way, but we don't need to get into that. The fifth axiom, combining existing sets together into new sets, well, I have to give it to the internet companies. They've got this down pat, though they call it bundling. The violation of the seventh axiom, the axiom of infinity, is, to be honest, more a criticism of modern mathematics than telecommunication companies, though they still violate it. Speaking as a physicist, I can tell you that internet service providers and any other physical thing in our apparently non-continuous finite-sized observable universe, they can't have an infinite amount of anything. I can't even say they have an infinite absence of customer service, because that would require the possibility of an infinite amount for them to be lacking. But there was still something bugging me. The manager told me that the offer for $45 was comprised of internet for $40 a month, plus $5 a month for the router. So breaking things down, the possible monthly services provided include internet for $40, internet for $50, TV, phone, and Wi-Fi router for $5. Now, it was clear that internet for $40 was an element of the set called internet plus router, and internet plus router was an element of possible service combinations, while internet for $40 on its own was not. And yet the possible service combinations should include all possible combinations of services, which Zermelo-Fraenkel would call the power set. And thus I realized that the eighth axiom was violated, and also the fourth. I think at this point we'd hit all 8 axioms, and my internet company had violated 7 of them. But as all of you doubtless know, the standard Zermelo-Fraenkel axioms often come packaged with a 9th axiom, and you need only see the name to know this axiom is seriously violated by telecommunication companies. And so I almost despaired, except despair can't be constructed without the axiom schema of specification. And then I remembered something important. Even if all of the axioms I hold dear are violated, that doesn't mean there's no logic or reason remaining. What's true in the mathematical world depends on what underlying axioms you take to be true. So I said, hang on, and took a deep breath. Can I get the $45 option, which consists of internet for $40 and a router for $5 a month, and then just send you back the router so I don't have to pay for it? And you know what the guy from the internet company told me? He told me what every scheming mathematician loves to hear from their axioms. I can't tell you you can't do that. The end. This story is partly based on the truth. I'll leave you to figure out which parts. And I first told it at the Festival of Bad Ad Hoc Hypotheses, where the idea is to listen to crazy made-up scientific theories in the hope that we'll be both entertained and more aware of how science actually works. And you can listen to more entertaining stories, science and otherwise, on Audible, this video's sponsor. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, including bestsellers, mysteries, memoirs, originals, and science books. I very much enjoyed and highly recommend How
as you take something away from a magnet. So a bullet that is affected by a magnetic field very close to something that is magnetic is affected a lot. How many Zambonis would it take to ice over all of the Great Lakes? Actually, let's restate that. If you only had one Zamboni and you had to resurface all of the Great Lakes which had frozen completely over, how long would that take? Huh. Who's worried about this question? Us. Me and you, that's who. So, let's state it. Some of you are watching in very frigid environments, so I thought this would be interesting. The Great Lakes are some of the greatest and largest bodies of fresh water on planet Earth. And in exactly one time in recorded history, all of Lake Superior, which is right here, completely froze over. 100% ice cover on the surface of Lake Superior. So the question stands, how long would it take one Zamboni to resurface all of a frozen surface of the Great Lakes, or all the Great Lakes? And if you don't know, for any international view, I don't know how many people know what Zambonis are. They're a big thing that makes the surface of an ice surface real nice and smooth for people to skate. Anyway, how long would it take? Well, the surface area of Lake Superior here is 31,000, a little over 31,000 square miles. Now that equates to about, let me just do it off the top of my head here, 52 million ice rings. Now, one Zambezi, nope, that's a kind of shark. Anyway, one Zamboni can do one ice rink in about 7 minutes. This one Lake Superior, this is most superior lake, has 52 million ice rings worth of ice in it. So that would mean that altogether it would take, 693 years to resurface all of Lake Superior with one Zamboni. For Lake Huron up here, it's a little over 500 years, 160 for Ontario, 217 for Erie, and for the Grand Lake Michigan, 489. The amount of time it would take for one Zamboni to resurface all the Great Lakes, I know you've been waiting, is over 2,000 years of bony time. Oops! Hello and welcome to another edition of Because Science Live, the live component of this channel where I take your comments, questions, corrections, and your comments about my hair and face and address them to the best of my ability. Look, I'm not an expert, I'm not a working scientist, but I do know a little bit about a lot of sciences and pop culture things. So if you have a nerdy question for me, hit me up in the chat and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. If I do not know, I will say I do not know, but I might be able to turn it into some little interestingness anyway. Nate?
Yeah, man, what's up, Kyle?
Hello.
You think guy?
Hey, yeah, I'm not your buddy, friend. We don't have to do that.
Alright, for the first question is from Anna.
Hey, Anna.
How strong and big would a fan need to be to divert bullets?
How strong would a fan need to be to divert a bullet? I assume coming right at your face. So you have a fan. Let's just model this out because it is wasting time because I don't know the answer to this question. So let's say you have a fan. The question is, what is the air velocity that you would need here? Air velocity to counteract, I'm going to draw this not to scale, to counteract a bullet heading towards you. Well, that's a tough question. Bullets, even bullets just fired from ye olde handguns, don't know why I said that, are going very, very fast, sometimes close to the speed of sound, if not over the speed. I would imagine that if you had to slow the bullet down so that it dropped before it got to you, you would have to produce enough drag on the bullet that the drag force, the amount of energy that the drag was putting, that was stealing from the bullet, would be enough to rob it of all of its kinetic energy. Velocity, the air velocity is going to be very important. Okay. So, wait a second. So, work is equal to force over a distance, which is equal to a change in kinetic energy. I don't have time to derive all that. You're gonna have to just trust me, you know, like with your professors. So,
さすがだね。いつも通りすごい治療だ。お前ら同じなのかよ。
同じもの意味がわからない。
黒崎君、今まで月島さんにずっと助けてもらってきた。
朽木を助ける。俺を落としたのはあいつか。一体どういう意味だ。物事をいじって変化するのは決まって未来だよ。それは時間。近所のそば当たってたってことか。近所の僕の家よと驚いたな。甘く持って回ったような言い方すんじゃねえよ。自分の能力ですでに別のものになったって言ったらどうだ。それは違う。